Hello everyone, welcome to Easy Science International. We are live today and actually we are looking at immunology and it's your tutor, Serunjoji. Um, Immunology, this is a very, it's a biological term as well as a medical term. So when we are looking at medical biochemistry, this is one of the terms that we use in defense against microorganisms and other sorts of um, pathogens. Yes, in other words, we can look at it as serology. So we want to look at immunology in this live session. What is immunology and how does it come up? Why do we look at it? Basically, every living organism is confronted by continual assault from its environment and therefore must develop some defense system to survive. Now, the defense ranges from physical barriers such as skin to highly sophisticated specific immune system. Now, the latter is a remarkably adaptive system in vertebrates, which protects against apparently limitless variety of environmental agents that are foreign to the body. That is to say, the antigens, and that may disturb the body homeostasis. These agents may be microorganisms or their products, food, chemicals, drugs, animal, air, among others. Um, Let me tilt this, please. Okay. So the immune system has a highly complex organization comprising of cells, tissues, and molecules which are involved in specific recognition and interaction with the antigen, followed by its inactivation or elimination from body. Um, the immune system offers protection against apparently limitless types of antigens, especially proteins and polysaccharides, but not directly against small molecules. These are called aptens. Although such molecules may elicit an immune response if they are bound to a protein of the body. Two essential function elements of the immune system um, recognition and response. So the system effectively recognizes subtle chemical changes that discriminate foreign cells or non-self from body's own cells and proteins. Effector function of immune system eliminates the activating antigens with incredible precision by either cellular or humoral mechanism. A different type of lymphocytes called T cells, sensitized to specific antigens, target the antigen directly in a process called cell-mediated response. Now, in addition to causing in this manner. Now, the T cells also cause activation of other cells of proteins, i.e., immunoglobulins or antibodies, which protect against organisms by a variety of mechanisms. These include neutralization of toxins, lysis of cytosis, and preventing adherence of bacteria and viruses to cell surfaces. In the presence of, uh, in this chapter or in this session, an account is given of molecular and cellular biology of the immune system and the current concepts about the mechanisms by which it protects the body against the invading pathogens. Details have been simplified to reveal the essential structure and physiology of the immune system in order that the clinical application of immunology may be appreciated. By the end of this session or chapter, the student should be able to learn organization of immune system, the organs, cells, and molecules involved in generating innate and specific immune response, antigens, epitopes, aptains, antigen processing and presentation, um, immune responses, humoral and cell-mediated, role of B cells, accessory cells, and various populations of T cells in the generated immune responses. Antigens complement hybridoma and monoclonal antibodies, vaccines, immunological techniques, immunodysregulation, actually it's immunodysregulation disorders. Um, then we want to look at the historical milestones. Historical milestones. Well, immunity is the body's ability to resist certain harmful substances. The Latin term immunis, meaning exempt, being the source of the English word immunity. The discipline of immunology, the science of man's resistance to disease, grew out of the observation that a person could catch certain infectious diseases only once in a lifetime. It had been a common knowledge that the individuals who had recovered from certain infectious diseases were thereafter protected from the same disease. The concept of immunity was expressed in folklores dating back to 430 BC, as evidenced by Thucydides' account of the Peloponnesian War. Um, in this, he noted that those who got infected with plague and survived could safely nurse the sick without the risk of contracting the disease again. Even if they caught the disease a second time, the second attack was never fatal. In ancient times, Indians and Chinese were known to obtain protection against smallpox by inoculating live organisms from the diseased pustules. However, such observations and concepts were translated successfully into a medically effective. In 1718, Lady Wortley Montagu, a renowned English author and wife of the British ambassador to Turkey, reported that the Turks induced immunity against smallpox by installing the crusts derived from the smallpox pustules through small cuts in skin or into nostrils, the technique termed its variolation. She tried to introduce this technique into England in 1718. Actually, the year is 17. it was possible to immunize individuals by using inactivated organisms. Such organisms retained the ability to provoke an immune response. They were immunogenic while failing to induce the disease. They were not pathogenic, in other words. He called it of Eli Mechnikov in 1883, who hypothesized that cells, rather than antibodies, were responsible for immune response. Um, these cells attacked immunogens directly. A portion of a also involves physiological barriers, for example, temperature. Behind medical immunology. And instructional theories, and then basically the response, that is humoral and cellular immunology. Next time we shall look at a number of aspects. I thank you. Stay good to Easy Science International. I remain your tutor, Serunjoji. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. In a while, we are going to be looking at the other kinds of immunity. But for today, that has been our session. We are looking at immunology in this series. And it's always your tutor, Ivan Serunjoji. Thank you for joining us today.